This is a WMUR Commitment Special, Conversation with the Community. And now, United States Senator Jeanne Shaheen.
Hello and welcome to our Conversation with the Community series. I'm Adam Sexton. Our guest is Senator Jeanne Shaheen. We'll be hearing today about where she stands on key issues. At the start of our show, I'll be asking the senator some questions, and then after a break, we'll have our studio audience ask their questions in a town hall format. But before we begin with that, let's take a quick look at what the senator has been working on. Iran has, of course, been dominating headlines. Just a few days ago, Senator Shaheen voted in favor of a war powers resolution limiting the president's power without congressional approval. She recently traveled to Ukraine and Denmark, both places in the spotlight of foreign policy right now. And late last year, she played a pivotal role in reaching a deal to reopen the government after the shutdown started by an impasse on health care funding. Senator Shaheen, thank you for joining us for Conversation with the Community. Appreciate it. So let's discuss the situation in Iran. And we are recording this on Friday morning, so by the time this airs on Sunday, 48 hours can transpire and any number of things could happen. But from a big picture perspective, do you believe this military conflict in Iran is in the best interests of the United States?
Well, I don't think we know the answer to that yet. I think our military has performed brilliantly, as they always do. I don't think anybody mourns for the Ayatollah. He was a promoter of terrorism across the Middle East. He restricted his own people, really terrorized them as well, murdered thousands of Iranians a couple of months ago when they were out demonstrating peacefully in the streets. But the question is, what comes next, and what's the end game for the administration? We've heard from President Trump a whole range of goals that he's hoping to accomplish, everything from regime change. He's refused to rule out boots on the ground. So it's not exactly clear what we're trying to do. Everybody agrees that we don't want Iran to get a nuclear weapon, but the question is, what's the best way to achieve that? And so we'll have to see what the end game is here. Unfortunately, right now, what we're seeing, while we're spending billions in the Middle East on this war, we're seeing costs go up even more for average Americans. It's having a real impact on energy costs, on the cost of gasoline now. And as people are struggling to afford groceries, to afford housing, to afford childcare, this adds to the burden.
There are so many Americans trapped in the region right now around Iran. What's being done to get them out? Well,
again, it's one of the concerns that I have about how much planning went into this effort in terms of the civilian population, because estimates are we have about 1 million people in those 14 countries in the Middle East where they have been told by the State Department they need to evacuate, and yet there was no planning for having evacuation planes there ready to help take people out of the Middle East. There were very limited plans for how we're addressing our embassy personnel in the region, and we've evacuated 2 embassies, but there are a number of others that have come under attack, including in Saudi Arabia. So the planning has been very sporadic when it comes to the civilian population in the region. Our office is working very closely with a number of constituents, so if people have concerns, they should call our office, let us know. We will do everything we can to help to make sure that people know what the options are.
I don't want to toss around the term World War III lightly, but in your opinion, how close are we as a country to a global conflict here?
Well, that's one of the real concerns, is that we're seeing this war escalate almost daily. So we saw an Iranian missile fired at Turkey. NATO actually intercepted that missile, so it didn't hit anything in Turkey. We saw that they fired on Azerbaijan, also not considered historically part of the Middle East region that has been affected. We saw a battleship by Iran taken out in off the coast of Sri Lanka. So it is expanding daily, and the concern is that it does involve many more countries. A number of our Middle East allies were planning to stay neutral in this war, but because Iran has fired on them, they've not now gotten involved as they should to protect their own people. So there are very real concerns about escalation and about what that means to our servicemen and women. And today we see a story that says very clearly that Russia is providing intelligence to the Iranians so that they can strike particularly our command and control centers. We know that that's what happened in Bahrain that killed the 6 service members who have already been killed. And that kind of intelligence from Russia to Iran means that they are a lot more lethal in the strikes that they're making.
All right, Senator, let's head into the town hall portion. We'll get to our New Hampshire voters here.
Great.
Coming up after the break, we'll bring our studio audience into this conversation. Stay with us.